Hey everybody, welcome back to the Friday Night Prepper pre-party show. I hope you guys are having a good Friday. Tonight's going to be really low key, no major topic to talk about. I got a couple things we're going to hit on. Definitely going to be talking about the upcoming frog suit giveaway thing that we got going on. I want to give people just a couple minutes though to get through ads and notifications and all that fun stuff. As you guys know, always the same rules here: no racism, no sexism, no bullying, no being mean to the moderators. If you have something to say, if you want to argue something, just articulate it. You don't need to insult if you know how to actually argue and debate correctly and articulate your point. Those are the rules. Mods have full permission to put somebody in timeout if they need to. We don't usually have a problem here, but I like to reiterate that we do have some new viewers. And thank you to all the new followers. I appreciate you guys and welcome if this is your first live stream here. Let's go ahead and say hi to chat. I see there's a few people popping in now. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate the 5x5. Thank you, Creative. And then we'll go ahead and get into a couple of things that we're going to talk about today. First of which we'll talk about the giveaway, the upcoming giveaway. So, Donald, I saw you come in. Happy birthday to you, my friend. It looks like you just passed a big milestone there. Congratulations. Scott Hummer, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate all the support you've given to this channel. And actually, chat, if you can, give Scott a big thank you, because Scott's actually partially funded some of the giveaways that we're going to be doing next week with the Amazon cards and stuff like that. He's been a big donor to the channel, so I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. And everybody who's been supporting one way or the other, whether you did super chats or you watched some ads or you bought something with my affiliate link. If you bought something with the affiliate links, I appreciate you. Next week is our end of the year stream, so that's when I like to give a little bit back. We also do giveaways when we hit milestones, and there's probably going to be another little giveaway coming up with I'm going to be co-streaming at some point here with the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. That is our friends Mike from Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, Livingston Man, Vision Preparedness, and Pete the Roman Prepper. We're going to be doing that sometime early 2026. Haven't really set down a date on that yet. All right, so hey to Scott, hey to Donald. Let's see. Virginia Bushcrafter, how are you doing tonight? It's good to see you as always. Creative Redundancy, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Stephanie Lakes, good to see you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Orlando Prepper, Cold War Prepper, thank you guys. Appreciate you both. It's good to see you. Fioxsaurus, Buenos Nachos, welcome. How are you doing? Kane Corso, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good night. Robbie, it's good to see you. Yo, yo, yo. It's good to see you, my friend. Let's see. For those of you who are on the West Coast too, I think, Robbie, are you on the West Coast? I hope you guys are okay. I see all that flooding out in Washington State. I hope you guys are okay. And I can't remember if Bacon is in Oregon or Washington, but hopefully we can see him tonight and check in on Bacon too. Utah Mike, it's good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good night. Coffee First, how are you doing? I hope you are having a good night. Homestead Engineering, thank you so much. Yeah, if you guys are going to have a good time tonight, smash that like button. If you hate Sarge, smash it on the download button. Either way, I appreciate you giving me a couple minutes of your time. All right, I think I'm mostly caught up here on the hellos. I'm good to go, pal. I'm the only red country in California. All right. I'm glad. Just stay high and dry, brother. Stay high and dry. All right. Let me go ahead and mark where I'm leaving off. Let's go ahead. I want to talk about this giveaway for next week. So last one I did was the 7,000 subscriber giveaway. I did it a little bit different, and I didn't like a couple things about it. A bunch of people who are not normally part of our community, who never come to chat, who never, as far as I can tell, never watch my videos because they've never once left a comment. I'm talking about like 100 people suddenly showed up and entered into the giveaway. Now, I can't stop that. In fact, YouTube is very adamant that like I can't just make this to my current subscribers. So there's nothing I can do to stop that. But I'm going to go back to the way that I was doing giveaways before. It just maximizes the chances that those of you who are here regularly will have your best chance of winning. Now, I can't, again, if it goes to somebody who like joins at the last minute, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. But this just kind of improves your chances. So we're going to be doing some Amazon gift cards. And the way that I do this, when I do the Amazon cards, I'm going to read all the rules here in just a minute. And again, this is next week, not tonight, next week. We'll start at 7:45 next week. The way I do the Amazon cards is you can be anywhere in the world as long as you can use an Amazon card and you're over 18 and I'm good to go. I'll give you a phrase next week and you'll need to enter that phrase in the chat. Okay. So you'll need to pop in for at least a couple minutes. You don't necessarily have to be here for the whole stream, but you're going to have to pop in for a couple minutes and enter that phrase. And then everybody who enters that phrase, I'll probably take a little break and I'll get you all on the wheel of names, which let me show you what that looks like real quick. So hang on right now. Do a share screen. So some of you have seen this before, but this is for people who've never been to one of my giveaways before. All right, so this is your wheel of names. This is what it looks like. And what happens is when I start, everybody who entered the right phrase will be on here. I'll give a couple minutes just to check, like, hey, did I miss anybody? That kind of thing. And then I'll hit it, and basically it'll be like that. Okay. And then if your name comes up, you're going to be a winner. I know some channels do this different, and they do it like an elimination thing. If your name comes up, you'll be a winner, but as I've done in the past, your name's going to come off the wheel. So your chances of winning for this giveaway, you can't win more than one prize. Okay. Sometimes I do it a little bit differently, but for this one, you can't win more than one prize. So then Butthead would come off the wheel, and then we would go to the next drawing. Okay. And I've got a couple cards, couple Amazon cards I'm going to give away. So that's how that's going to work. But what I am going to do is I'm going to come on at 7:45. I'll give you the instructions. I'll tell you what the phrase is to enter. You're going to, if you want to be in it, you enter your name, you enter that phrase in the chat, and we'll say, like, we'll cut it off at 8:30. So you'll have between 7:45 and 8:30 to pop on, get the phrase, and enter it. Okay. At 8:30, I cut it off. I'll probably go off the air for a little while so I can get everybody's names on the board, or maybe I'll just stay live, but you'll just have like dead air for a while. I might just do that so that like people aren't like feeling weird about it. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. You'll just have to like bear with me as I'm entering names on. I won't be able to like do a lot of interaction and stuff like that. If I can get a guest that wants to come on and chat a little bit and fill that space, that's fine. Maybe one of the mods wants to come in and talk about what they got coming up in the next year. If one of the mods wants to do that, just email me at businesswithsarge@gmail.com. And I'll do that. I'll turn the camera over. I'll turn the mic over to you while I'm entering names. You can talk about whatever you want. You know, you can talk about what's coming up on your channel or resolutions for 2026 or whatever. Once I've got everybody's name on there, again, I'll check, make sure, hey, is your name on there? If you want it to be on there, am I missing anybody? And then we'll roll it. Okay. So let me read these rules because I got to do this. This is also part of when you do these giveaways. So bear with me here. All right. If you want to read along with me, if you click in the description of this video, if it's available to you, these are the official rules. And I've got links to YouTube's policies and terms of service. So you can go check out all that if you want to. All right. This contest giveaway is not in any, this is really important. Listen to me. This contest giveaway is not in any way affiliated with YouTube, X, Meta, or any other related platform that I am on. Okay. For this giveaway, participants need, for this giveaway, sometimes I require you to be in the United States, but for this one, no. You do not need to be a resident of the 48 continental US, and you do not have to have a mailing address within the US as long as you can receive emails. Okay. Number 3, follow specific instructions mentioned in the drawing live stream, which will be next week between 7:45 and 8:30. 8:30 is going to have to be my cutoff. Okay. You must be at least 18 years of age. Okay. If you're not, ask mom or dad to enter for you. Okay. Number 5, winner will be announced. Winner will be randomly selected on the live stream. So that's next week again, 12/26. Winner will be given instructions. Listen to this. This is important. If your name is chosen, I'm going to give you instructions on how to contact me through email and I'm going to give you a little bit of instruction so that I can verify that it's you and that somebody's not trying to steal your code. Okay. I have a way of doing this so that I can make sure that you who won is actually getting the code and somebody's not trying to scam me and get your code. Okay. There's no cash substitute. There's no substitute at all. If you win and do not contact me within 14 days of the drawing, you forfeit your prize. Content creator and winner must comply with all relevant federal, state, and local laws, rules, and regulations, including US sanctions. Content creator and participants cannot infringe upon or encourage the infringement of any third-party rights or the participation in any unlawful activity. Content creator will not ask the viewer to give all rights or transfer the ownership of their entry to me. I will not ask you to do that. Content creator will ship to the winner at my own cost. There's the only cost it's going to be is basically my time to send you a code to use on Amazon through your email. Okay. You are not required to hit the like button. Content creator believes in good faith that I am in compliance with all federal, state, and local laws for continental U.S. participants. Content creator will not be held liable if the participant is in violation of these laws regarding the receipt of prize. Number 13, please see the video for entry instructions. That's next week, although we're kind of giving you a preview of it this week. Number 14, YouTube is not a sponsor or affiliated in any way. Participants agree to release YouTube from any liability related to this contest. Number 15, any state, local, or federal taxes on winnings are your responsibility to pay, not mine. The content creator is not responsible for paying any taxes on the prize, and the participants absolve this content creator and the associated LLC, that's my business, from all legal responsibility for this. Acknowledge that if they are the chosen winner and if taxes are due for your prize, it is your responsibility to pay those taxes. We clear? Good. Number 16, privacy notice. The content creator will ask the winner to notify him via email provided during the drawing and given instructions to verify that the emailer is who they say they are. This information will be used to coordinate the delivery of the prize. I will not share your email with anyone else. I will not use it for any marketing. And unless you want to stay in touch with me through email, there's no reason for me to continue to do so after this, right? So there are a few people that I do talk to offline through email. Mostly it's mods and things like that, or people that have been with the channel for a long time. But I'm not going to start spamming you with emails. I don't. That's not the purpose of this at all. Okay. Just number 17, participants agree to not hold the content creator or my affiliated LLC liable for any errors, claims, or damages. Number 18, the content creator, spouse of the content creator, and any paid employees of the LLC, that's my business, associated with the brand Prepping with Sarge, are not eligible to claim a prize. Okay, so me and my wife and paid employees are not eligible. Unpaid employees, which includes my moderator team, may participate and they are eligible to win prizes in the GAW. If I was paying them, I would say no, they're not paid, they're volunteers, so they are eligible. Contract workers, such as sometimes I've hired models and artists and photographers to do specific work for me, they are eligible because they are not regular employees and they have not worked. I've not hired anybody in that capacity for at least the last 90 days that I can remember. Okay. Former employees of the brand and LLC are eligible if they've been separated from employment for at least 30 days. Okay. For this giveaway, you must be present on the live stream 12/26/25, chat, and enter the designated phrase in chat. Between 7:40, I'm going to write this in here now. I'm going to fix this. Between 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, you do not have to be present for the whole thing, okay? Because I know it's a busy week. People are going to be with family and stuff like that. So you do not have to be present for the whole thing. Pop in, get the phrase, enter the phrase, and duck out if you need to duck out to be with family. You can check back later on to see if you won, okay? And number 20, last one here. If you've been banned, blocked, or hidden from commenting on this channel, you are ineligible. You were banned, blocked, or hidden for ignoring the channel rules, such as no racism, no sexism, no trolling, and no insulting, okay? So you did that to yourself. I'm sorry. Too bad, so sad. Don't be a goblin next time. All right. All right, let's check back to the stream now. If you have any questions about that, go ahead and put it in chat now about the giveaway. And then we're going to kind of, once I'm done checking chat, we're going to be going on to the next thing. All right. Well, it feels like, oh, you guys got some real cold weather. We just got out of the cold weather here, folks. We are back in the high 50s, mid 60s here. Finally. Because I live in Charleston, guys. This is the deep South. This is the deep, dirty South. We don't usually, and I'm coastal too, so that's also, coastal is usually a little bit warmer. We don't usually get a cold winter yet. We get it in January, February for about 3 weeks, but it hit us really early this year. So I don't know what that means for the rest of our winter. But yeah, we were down below 30s too, which is pretty darn cold for here. Pekin Tadunina, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. I apologize if I'm butchering that. Prepper for the ages, how are you tonight? Hope you're doing good. Tammy Harders, good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. Has somebody got your same logo, Homestead? Congratulations to Butthead. So I don't know if you all knew this. If you were fans of the 90s Beavis and Butthead, they actually have made new episodes. I think it's on Paramount or Comedy Central. I can't remember. But they're really funny. And they do this thing where sometimes it's them as teenagers, and then sometimes it's them in middle age. And they're basically the same, except like Butthead's gotten very overweight and Beavis has glasses because his vision's bad now. But they basically are up to the same kind of shenanigans. It's pretty funny. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, Scott, you're welcome to email me anytime. Yep. Better just to stay on it. Yep. Yeah, and that's fine. And if people need to tune out after they've got their name on for next week, that I don't mind. That's fine. Just check back to make sure you won, because after 14 days, if you don't claim your prize, you forfeit it. Pilgrims, good to see you. How are you doing tonight? I've heard that the U.S. is engaging in some serious military action against that. Yep, that's what I heard as well. FAFO. Okay. You guys know, you've been with me. Most of you have been with me a while. You know I'm against the forever war. I don't think the United States should be getting involved in conflicts all around the world. I think a lot of times we could probably resolve it differently, like with blockades and sanctions. But if you kill Americans, sorry, UFAFO, you're going to find out. And I don't lose sleep over that. You know, I care about people. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I don't lose sleep. You hurt Americans. You made a choice. You brought that on yourself. Jamie Carter, thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good night. Thank you. 78 tomorrow. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds nice, Scott. That sounds nice. All right, cool. All right, so moving on to the next thing here. And again, I don't have a whole lot for y'all tonight. I wasn't really prepared to talk about Syria, but yes, we supposedly hit some spots in Syria today. I think that they're asking for us to distinguish between that this is like ISIS factions within Syria, not so much Syria the government or Syria the people. In fact, I think the situation with Syria is really complicated. I can probably do another live stream. We could probably talk about that another day, but I don't know that I don't want to get misinformation out there. I'm not really prepared to talk about that one. But we have been talking about all year long, all of 2025, we've been talking about how ISIS-K is still a problem. And I still believe that ISIS has pockets in the United States of sleeper cells. And I'm going to continue to talk about that until I believe there's no longer a threat. I also do believe that we've rounded up a few of those. Okay, probably not all of them, but from what I can tell and read and without getting into too much detail, I think we've got some of them. As we've talked about on previous streams here, the way that these sleeper cells are set up is they're all compartmentalized, right? So you may get 4 people living in Michigan, and they're one little cell, one little sleeper cell, but that 4 doesn't know where any of the other sleeper cells are. So it's really hard. They can interrogate them and all this other stuff. They can squeeze them, but if they don't know, they don't know. So it's unfortunately, it's actually kind of a brilliant strategy by ISIS-K, because they're segmented all over the place, and it's really hard to track all of them down. So we're keeping an eye on that. I swear to you guys, every time, we had that situation in California this past week where they broke up a New Year's Eve plot. And my first thought was that's one of the sleeper cells. It turns out not. It was some radical left-wing group that claims to be anti-capitalism, but there's also, if you dig into it, it seems like there's probably some anti-Semitism there too. So they broke up that. Thankfully, they were going to do a New Year's Eve attack. But my first thought when I heard that one before they said who it was I thought it was ISIS, right? I thought it was ISIS. This is why, I try not to rush out when I hear like the stories and jump online and be like, hey, they caught one of the sleeper cells. I try to wait till we can get enough information so I can at least confirm it, or at least say it looks like this, right? This guy who is dead now that murked the nuclear scientist from MIT. I'm not joking. My wife and I were talking about it. I'm like, how do we know this is not a foreign nation like taking out one of our top scientists, right? Because if you know anything about MIT, so let me sidebar here. So when I was in college, my fraternity had a chapter at MIT. I didn't go to MIT. I'm not that smart. Okay. But we used to go up there and we used to hang with those guys and party with them. And when you talk to somebody who's like an IQ of like 150 or more, you can tell they're on a different level of intelligence. And they were great with us. I mean, they made us feel welcome and stuff like that. But when you're conversing with them, you can tell that like they're up here with their understanding of mathematics and physics, and I'm kind of down here doing my best to keep up. So MIT's got some of the brightest minds in the country, right? They've got some of our most brilliant physicists and nuclear scientists and whatnot. So my thought was somebody's now going to try and murk our top scientists. Turns out that wasn't the case. This guy sounds like he had some kind of personal grudge with MIT or this particular professor, and that he also had a grudge with Brown University. So if those of you have been kept watching the stories ended up being connected. But my first thought was like, is this some kind of terrorism thing? Venezuela, guys, is going to be a problem. I think, I hate to say this and I hope I'm wrong, but I think we're going to war. I think it looks like we could be going to war. There's definitely an escalation here. I don't lose any sleep when a narco terrorist gets murked. I don't know about you, but I've lost former patients, high school friend to the scourge of drugs in this country. And I don't get it when I go on Twitter and I see people like that, Brian Krasenstein or whatever his name is, who's like, cheerleading for these narco terrorists, but he never ever says anything about like all the people that have been affected by addictions in this country, people who've lost loved ones. And if you've not worked with somebody or had a friend who struggled with these, it's very easy to get judgmental about people with addictions. But the reality is, with fentanyl and oxy and things like that, a lot of times it started with they got a surgery and they were prescribed a painkiller, and the doctors aren't warning them how addictive these painkillers were. That's kind of a different type of addiction, guys. And then they get cut off, but now they're so addicted to it that they're getting sick if they can't get access to it. And so then they go to the street. And then, so you've got that as one factor. And then you've got these drug dealers on the street are putting fentanyl in like other things, like just marijuana and stuff like that, because they want their customers to get addicted to their product. Well, for the average person who's doesn't have any tolerance for that, they could die. And it does happen. And it's happening all over the country, right? So this is what we've talked about Narcan before, and why I think, preppers should probably have Narcan in your medicine cabinet. I know my audience that most of you probably don't have any worry about anybody in your family like that, but you don't know that the person across the street doesn't, or some little kid doesn't accidentally touch a bag that they find that a dealer dropped or something, right? Like on your street, right? So I think it's a good idea to carry it. I think it's a good idea to get trained on how to use it. But yeah, a lot of the fentanyl and other drugs, cocaine is coming in through South America, and Venezuela is one of those countries. And so when we're taking out these boats that they've shown close-ups of the boats, and they're like saran wrapped packages and buckets that are, look, that's not fish, guys, right? That's not a fishing vessel. It's not, let's not play stupid games here. I don't lose sleep that when that happens. I'm sorry. If you do, okay, that's fine, but I don't. But do I want us to go to a full on land war with Venezuela? No. I've got family members that are in the military. I don't want to see them get sent off to war. We just got out of a 20-year war, right? We just got out of a 20-year war. Like, there are young people in this country who've never known what it's been like to grow up in the United States that wasn't at war. So if we can avoid that, I think it's going to be for the best. But right now, I got a bad feeling that it's not going in a good direction. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that situation for 2026. I'm gonna try to track that story as best as I can, and I hope it de-escalates, and I pray it de-escalates. But right now, it doesn't look good. Let me check your chat here, and then I got a couple more little things for you. Okay. And remember, just because the last 20 years we were lucky that the war wasn't on our doorstep, it doesn't mean that there won't be attacks inside the United States. And this is part of prepping as well. I think I scrolled back too far. Hang on. Where the heck did I leave off? Sorry, bear with me a second here, guys. There we go. Okay, I got you. I haven't watched the news in a few days. Yeah, sometimes it's good to take a break, prepper for the ages. Sometimes, so if it's getting too depressing or too anxiety provoking for me, one thing I do is I'll read the news on my phone. There's some good sites that will. I use Bing a lot. Bing will kind of like shows you the top 20 stories, and then you can search for stories. Like, I'll search for weather for my area. I'll search for different things like gold and silver prices and things like that. So Bing, when I need a break from the TV news, I use Bing sometimes. Yeah, it's complicated, isn't it, Lee? And I don't want to put out misinformation there about that. It's a really complicated situation between the United States and Syria right now. Hey, Jason Beecher, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Scrolling down here. Yep, and I'm a big fan of Sarah Adams for Intel. I think I try to follow what she's saying. She seems legit. She seems like the real deal. Hey Wayne, it's good to see you. How are you doing tonight? Excuse me. Complex coordinated terrorist attack. I didn't know what that was either, so thank you for answering that. Complex coordinated terrorist attack. Yeah, and again, I want to reiterate to people that just because for the last 20 years our brave men and women kept that fight from our shores doesn't mean that the next war is going to be like that. Robbie, you're not wrong, at least historically, with what you said there about Big Pharma. Scott, and that's interesting, isn't it? Because like there's a lot more at play here, isn't there, than just what it looks like on the surface. There's a lot more at play. There's some like serious space chess going on with this situation. And Wayne kind of talked about it there too. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of complex chess maneuvers going on with this. Yes, true. Jason Beecher. One of our biggest fears is that some little kid in the neighborhood is going to find something that somebody dropped out a window or something like that from their car, and seize and not be able to get back up. So that's why we carry it. Hey, Dub Season. Yep. You never know. Narcan has saved a lot of lives, guys. Yeah, I can talk about that a little bit too, if you guys want, Donald. I'll give you my personal thoughts on it. Understood. Some of it's out of our control. Prep for your family. Prep for your family. Yep. Yeah, drones have changed warfare 100%. Oh, thanks, Scott. I appreciate that. Let me briefly talk about the marijuana thing. So I need to say that for the purposes of my brands and the affiliates that I work with, and anybody else that may be affiliated with me with the work I do, whatever, my opinions are my own. I'm not representing anybody else with what I say here. My personal feeling on having worked in mental health for 28 years now, actually, is I don't think people should be smoking weed and driving. I don't think people should be smoking weed around kids. I don't think you should leave edibles that look like candy around children. But outside of those things, if you take those things out, for the most part, it's been my experience with people that I've worked with that it's less harmful than alcohol, less harmful than tobacco, less harmful than some prescription drugs. I can tell you that in all the years of the work that I've done, I used to get out and called out in the middle of the night to do assessments for people who were claiming to be thinking about self-harm. And in all of the years that I did that, there was many times where alcohol was involved. There was many times where pills were involved. Never once was marijuana involved. I've never had a case in mental health where somebody was using marijuana and then beat their kids. I've never had a case in mental health where somebody was using marijuana and beat their wife. I have seen that with pills. I have seen that with alcohol. I have seen that with just about every other drug. I have seen people personally benefit from with anxiety and nausea and sleep issues. But I also want to caveat that with I don't think it's a cure-all magic pill for everything. Okay. I think it's probably medically beneficial. And I think opening it up to research will confirm that. Does it cure everything like some people claim? I doubt that. I have seen it help people with panic attacks. I've seen it help veterans with PTSD issues. There is an issue with the sleep thing that I want to hit a little bit more on, and there's an issue with people with psychotic disorders I want to hit a little bit more on. But with sleep, people will often say like, "Oh, it helps me sleep," and maybe anecdotally, maybe that's true. But what the research shows is that it suppresses REM sleep. That's your dream sleep. Okay, so maybe that's good if you have nightmares, but you eventually have to catch that up. And what happens with there's this thing that we talk about in my field called sleep debt, which you can suppress REM sleep for so long, but eventually it's going to slingshot back up and it's going to be more intense, right? So if you suppress your dreams for 3 days, when you do finally dream, it's going to be very vivid and very intense. So for those who say, well, that's not true, Sarge, when I've used marijuana, I have these really fun dreams. They're very vivid. Okay, so what's happening is for the first part of your sleep cycle, it's being suppressed, like the first couple hours. And then when that THC is wearing off in your body, then you're getting that slingshot effect. So that's why you're getting the vivid dreams. Okay. So it's one of those things that's a little bit more complicated than people realize. I'm not saying it doesn't help with sleep. I think but it's a little bit more nuanced than that. And then the other thing is if people with a history of psychotic disorders, I'm talking about like schizophrenia, maybe bipolar with psychotic features, major depression with psychotic features, schizoaffective disorder. People with psychotic disorders absolutely should not touch THC. We have really good evidence that it can actually make psychosis worse. And people will say, well, it actually helps my symptoms. Same thing. It suppresses them and then they get worse. Okay. We have really good research around psychotic disorders and THC, and I just can't in good conscience say that like that's a good idea for you. Okay. So if you have those things, sorry, I'm going to say what I say to every patient that I've ever worked with. It's probably going to make your symptoms worse over time if you continue to use it. So it's a mixed bag, right? Like I think there's beneficial things to it. I think that a lot of people will probably benefit from it as and for anxiety, and probably for maybe it helps with flashbacks and some other components of PTSD. I know it helps people with nausea. I know it helps people with pain, but it's not everything about it is perfect. And most importantly, I want to reemphasize that if you use it, I really, really ask, because I care about you, please don't drive. Please don't drive on it. You may think you may think that you're driving better, because people will say, oh, I drive better when I'm stoned. You can search for on YouTube. There's a great study that they did in Canada where they put people on a closed course with traffic cones and tested them during like sober, and then after they smoked a little, and after they smoked a little more, and then after they smoked. And what they found was that these people were all very experienced marijuana users, and they said, I always thought I was driving good at this level, but they showed them the video and they were hitting cones all over the place. So you should not be driving with it. And I'll die on that hill. Okay. But again, I think there's some benefits to it, and I think it's probably going to help people if we can get some good research going. All right. So there you go. That's Sarge's thoughts on it. Some of it's probably personal opinion. Some of it is definitely based on all the research. Some of it has been all based on my experience working with people over 28 years in mental health. I hardly drink at all now. Creative redundancy. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I drank a lot in my 20s. Too much, too much. I don't like the person that I was in my 20s. I If I could go back and change things, I would. But I just don't drink that much now. If I go out and get a steak, I like to have like a good beer with a steak. If I'm at a wedding and somebody has, champagne or something like that, yeah, I'll have it. But maybe once or twice a year, I'll have a drink with my wife. Like we'll mix up a drink or whatever. But I've got bourbons and everything else here that like I barely touch. It's not my thing anymore. Hey Bacon, it's good to see you, buddy. Bacon, are you getting any of that any of that flooding up in the Northwest? I was actually talking about you earlier. I hope your area is okay, brother. Okay, so Theoxorus says that MJ did not help with the nightmares at all. Okay. Um yeah, sometimes if you have chronic recurring nightmares and they suddenly stop, it could be that you're thinking about that situation differently, which is great. That's what we would do in therapy. Yeah, I think that's well said, Bacon. Or operate machinery. Yeah, no chainsaws when you're drinking or smoking, guys. All right, stay away from the chainsaws. Huh. So, if I'm understanding that, was there more accidents or something like that when they legalized it? It's not legal where I am. There you go, creative. Good job. What's the phrase we're supposed to use? That's next week. Next week. My brother-in-law died in a tractor rollover due to alcohol. I'm so sorry, Jason. The fentanyl is bad. It's a scourge on this country, and previous presidents just chose to ignore the problem for whatever reason. Now, we should probably have a conversation about fentanyl too. So fentanyl, for those who don't know, let me mark where I'm leaving off here with Wayne's comment. Um, fentanyl, for those who don't know, is actually there's you need to think of it as like two different kinds of drugs, right? So there's fentanyl that's used by paramedics on an ambulance and in the hospital if you have an extreme pain situation, like you just broke your spine, or somebody shot you in the kneecap, or you got bit by a wild lion, mountain lion, or something like that. For extreme pain, it's actually a really good drug, and it can be used safely. The street fentanyl is the problem. The street fentanyl is unmeasured, undosed. It's often combined with catalysts. It's often combined with precursors, and that's what's killing people. Okay, so you'll have a lot of misinformation out there. Some people will say, fentanyl is perfectly safe because the paramedics and the hospital use it. That is fentanyl that has been measured and dosed and being given and administered by a trained professional for a medically appropriate situation. That's not what we're talking about here. The street fentanyl is dirty, mixed with crap. It's a lot of times synthesized, and I'm trying to think of the right word, extracted to become even more potent, and a small amount of it can kill you. There are people out there spreading bad information about this. They're like, oh no, touching it won't kill you. It depends. If you have a really strong batch of street fentanyl, touching it might kill you. It has. It's killed people. I personally know of first responders who had accidentally touched it when they were handling evidence, and it got, like, as they were taking off their gloves, actually. And a little tiny bit got on their skin, and they dropped, and thankfully there was other officers there to witness it and administer Narcan. But that's not a joke when you hear those stories. That really does happen. And no, there's not some cop using it. Like, that's the stupidest thing, the stupidest rumor that people spread. If you're spreading that, I guarantee you, if I look at your profile, you're the same kind of idiot that's saying like all cops are bad and stuff like that. And I just have no regard for you. Like, you don't you don't know what you're talking about, and you're spreading bad information that's potentially going to get somebody killed. And I hope it's not somebody that you care about. Anyone use Road Atlas? I've been obsessed. Yeah, I always keep them in the car. I like to have them just in case the GPS fails. Bacon says he's driving through a lot of flooding, not a few fallen trees. Watch. Oh man, please be careful. I'm sorry. Yeah, we've been seeing it on the news. It looks terrible. Yep, that some of it is. That's the medical stuff that's measured and dosed and administered by somebody who knows what they're doing. Yeah, it is chemical warfare, isn't it, Stephanie? Yeah. Yep. You can go on Twitter and see all those videos too, California too, of like what it's doing to people. Just people bent over, sleeping on the street, half dead, basically. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad to hear it. That's my addiction right there too, brother. That's my addiction too. I have to own it. I got a bad caffeine addiction, man. It's bad. If I couldn't get access to it, I would go through some pretty bad withdrawals. I didn't know that, Stephanie. That's bad, Tammy. Jeez. Donald, I'm glad you're doing better, man. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know a lot about it. Creative redundancy. It hasn't been super common here in South Carolina. Orlando Prepper says the world would not be a safe place if I didn't get my coffee. I hear you, brother. Zombies. Yeah, when you see those people on the street with the fentanyl addiction, they look half dead. It's sad. It's really sad. All right, let me wrap. Let me do a couple things, then we're gonna wrap this one up, folks. next year, 2026, just to kind of give you a little preview of what we're going to be doing. If you like the little AI shorts that I've been doing, then good news is you'll be getting more of those. If you hate the little AI shorts that I've been doing, then just scroll past them. And honestly, I need to say this, like, uh, if you really hate AI videos, I understand, it's okay. You don't have to watch any of my videos. But when you go on a video and you say, I hate AI or AI slop, what you actually do, whether you know this or not, is you're helping that channel. So whenever people come on and they're like, I hate AI slop or whatever, that YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, they see that as engagement. And it's the same thing. If you, that's why I always say, if you want to, you can give me a downvote or a thumbs down. They don't, it doesn't matter to you, to the, they see it as engagement, right? So you have to think of it like this. So if those of you who've ever watched the movie about Howard Stern, what marketing companies have figured out is that if people don't like you, or they'll actually listen to you more or watch you more. So by doing that, you're actually showing them, oh, they this is good for our platform, that people are mad about Sarge's AI slop. So if you really don't like it, here's what you do. When you see it come up on your feed and if you don't want to keep seeing it, scroll past it as fast as you can. Because these platforms even measure how long you're looking at something and thinking about clicking on it. That's a metric too. So if you truly don't like it, just scroll past it. If you leave me a comment like, I hate your AI videos, fine, you're helping me. I don't care. I do it because some of my audience likes it, and I do it because they're fun for me to make. And it's a kind of a fun, different way that I can get different little sneak in little prepping messages and things like that. So there'll be more of that. I'll be doing more product reviews. We're going to continue to do the Friday night live streams. Won't have any foraging videos for a little while because it's wintertime. Unless I happen to be out there and I see something that's worth filming, probably not going to see any foraging videos to the springtime. And then, yeah, we'll start working on some guests for 2026, that kind of stuff. If you're a business and you would like to advertise, like I do, sometimes you guys know I do those spots for AppMax and things like that. Reach out to me at businesswithsarge@gmail.com. We'll talk about pricing. Be happy to embed something in video or videos, and we could talk about, like, what are the options there. But that's what 2026 looks like for now. We're gonna talk about the Venezuela situation. We're gonna talk about the sleeper cell situation, and I'm gonna continue to talk about AI both as a threat and I don't want to spoil too much, but I got a video that I'm working on right now, as a threat, but also as a tool. Okay, because I believe it's both. All right. So that's what you can look forward to from me for the next year. Don't forget, before I wrap this one up, don't forget, next week, the 26th, is going to be the frog suit GAW. Okay. And I've got the frog suit. I haven't tried it on yet. It actually came in. So we're going to be giving away some Amazon cards. You want to tune in sometime between 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8:30 Eastern Standard Time next week. I'm going to give you the phrase. You're going to enter it in chat. And then there'll be a little bit of a delay while I get everybody's names on the wheel of names. And then we'll do the drawings. And then if you win, you're going to email me, and I'm going to give you instructions so I can verify that you are who you are. I've got a way to do that to make sure that the right person gets the code. Okay. And that's it. That's it, folks. We are winding down here, 2026. Let me check your chat one last time, and then we're going to call it a night. I appreciate you all. Appreciate you giving me some of your weekend. You could be doing lots of things, but you chose to hang out here. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. All right. Coffee CBD for a while. That stuff is amazing. They were going to open up marijuana coffee shops in Massachusetts. Yeah, I'm in the state. I'm in South Carolina. I don't think it'll ever be legal here unless it's federally legal. Merry Christmas. Exactly. Thank you, Orlando. Merry Christmas. Yeah, because the next time I see you guys will be after Christmas. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Scott. I know some of you guys are appreciating it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Orlando. Appreciate it. I don't know that channel, but I will try to take a look at it. Thank you, Donald. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. That maybe some of the fears are legit, and I do believe that, but maybe some of them we're over sensationalizing some stuff, and that's about as spoilery as I can get. And that's part of why I'm doing this, guys. That's part of why I'm experimenting with AI. Again, stay tuned. That video is coming. I explain myself and why I've been doing this, what my thought process is. There's a reason. I'm not just trying to like load YouTube with slop that everybody hates. I'm actually, there's a purpose for all of this. Hey, Burpee, it's good to see you. AI can be a double-edged sword. I agree with that. Yep. You're welcome. Thank you, Stephanie, for watching. Appreciate you. Yeah, thank you, Wayne. Appreciate you. Merry Christmas, Jamie Carter. Thank you. Cool. All right. Appreciate you. LR is worth checking out. He's a real philosopher without realizing. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a great Friday night. I may have that video about the AI stuff Tuesday if I can get it edited this weekend, if I can do what I want to do with it. I got another video coming tomorrow afternoon in the Mr. Kitty versus Santa series. And then I think there's another one coming Sunday. There's like 3 or 4 more parts to that storyline that's going on of my cat versus Santa. So if you haven't seen those, basically my cat wrote a letter to Santa. He was asking for weapons to help with his prepping. And Santa wrote back and said he's not going to give him any weapons. He can only give him toy replicas. So now my cat has basically declared war on Santa. So I got a whole video series going on it. Stay with me. We're going to have a good time, guys. Folks, you have a great night. I appreciate you. Keep planting your seeds. Keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge. Thank you, everybody.